Okay, so now let's talk about causes of permanent happiness. That's the main thing, correct? Let's find out what can give us permanent happiness. As we've spoken about earlier, only permanent things can give us permanent happiness. That's clear, because temporary things can give us only temporary happiness. So what is permanent in life? What do you think is permanent? Think for a second. What is permanent? I've just told you that your body is not permanent. I've just told you all these materialistic things are not permanent. I've just told you that the senses are not permanent. Then what is permanent? Correct? That's a very good question. And let me tell you, what is permanent is our inner essence, our inner core. That is permanent for sure. You can call it consciousness or awareness. There are different words for the same thing, but that is definitely permanent. So now, if you want to get permanent happiness, we have to find ways of how to make this inner core happy. So you will wonder, what do you mean inner core happy? You don't even know what inner core is, and now you talk about making that happy? It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so now let's go to a little bit of scientific understanding. Every substance in this world wants to be in this equilibrium state or base state. I'll give you an example. Take water for instance. Water, its basic quality is to be in a liquid form and is to be at room temperature. That room temperature can be in any place, but at room temperature, right? But what happens in the liquid? But if you, for instance, light a fire near it, the water will get hot. In fact, it can even steam up, correct? So now the water has turned to steam. Is that the base quality of the water? No, the water's quality is to be in liquid form. So after that heat has moved away, like the flame has moved away, the water will again go back to being water. Correct? Will it stay in a steam form? No. It will again condense to become water. Right? So that is the base state of water. So no matter what you do to heat it, it will again come back to room temperature. Suppose you freeze it, right? By keeping it in a freezer or something, it becomes ice. But after it's been put out, but it'll only be in an ice state while it's being frozen. But the minute you remove that cooling effect, it'll again go back to water, like liquid water. I mean room temperature water in a liquid form, right? So the base state of water is not steam or not ice. The base state of water is just to be water. Now try to think of this inner core. Now this is a new thing that I'm telling you. The inner core's base state is to be happy, to be blissful, right? And that is why we keep wanting to be in the blissful state. That is the reason, because that is the basic state of our inner core, our inner essence, to be happy. Just the way that the water wants to be liquid form at room temperature, our basic inner core wants to be happy. But now we know that that's the base state, and the most important, A, that we are the inner core and not the body, and B, that the base state of the inner core is to be happy. So now the question is, now that we established that, how do we make this inner core happy? Okay, so now there are various ways. The inner core is actually made up of very many qualities, which you will say, of course I know that. It is to be all loving, all kindness, all gratitude, all basically all the good things, right? That is what the inner core is made of. Simple things, like anything that you want is generosity or forgiveness, all of these things, all these good qualities, that's what the inner core is made of. Correct? So now what happens that is what would have been our base state, but sadly, because of patterns from before, because of various situations or people, we cannot express our core values, that of being all loving, all kindness, all of the good things. We can't express that. So now this happiness course is all about expressing your values to return it to the original state of being happy, to be blissful. So now you understand that the cause of permanent happiness is actually expressing these values to bring it back to the inner, to bring it back to the basic value of blissfulness. So I have just explained to you that for us to be permanently happy, we have to make our inner core happy, and we can do that by expressing our values. So now this course of Happiness Magic, we're going to have activities for you, so that will allow you to do these things and bring your inner core, inner essence back to the basic state.